I used to think love had to end with a bang. You know, a huge fight, screaming matches, catching someone in the act, or some grand betrayal. I was so wrong. Sometimes, love just fades out. It ends quietly, while you're still in the middle of trying, giving it your all. We have been together for 4 years. 4 years of daily talks, shared plans, inside jokes that only we understood, and memories that felt like they'd last a lifetime. To anyone looking in, we were the perfect couple. Nothing looked broken, nothing seemed out of place, but deep down, something felt off. It's hard to explain. It was like a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The little things started to disappear. They stopped asking how my day was. They stopped arguing with me, which sounds good, but it wasn't. They just stopped caring enough to fight for anything. The passion, the engagement, it was all gone. There was just silence. I remember it was a Tuesday afternoon, a completely ordinary day. I saw a message notification pop up on their phone, and it vanished just a little too quickly. It wasn't enough to start an argument over, not suspicious enough to make a full-blown accusation, but it was just enough to plant a seed of unease in my gut. That feeling you get when your intuition is screaming at you, but your brain tells you you're being paranoid. That night, I decided to ask. I kept it simple, direct. Is everything okay between us? They looked at me, smiled that smile that used to make my heart race, and said, yeah, of course. Everything's fine. And that was the exact moment I knew it wasn't. That was the moment I knew the truth. Because real love, deep love, doesn't answer a question that heavy with a simple, dismissive yes. It talks, it explores, it reassures. That easy answer was a wall. A few days later, my gut feeling wouldn't leave me alone, and I found the messages. And here's the thing that really twists the knife. There was nothing overtly romantic, nothing physical. It wasn't about sex or secret dates. It was just conversations. Conversations where I was slowly being erased. They were talking to someone else about their dreams, their fears, their feelings, all the things they used to share with me. They were building a new world with someone else, brick by emotional brick, while I was still living in the one we had built together. When I finally confronted them, their response broke me in a way I never saw coming. They said, I didn't want to hurt you. But they didn't understand. They had already stopped choosing me, day after day, in 1,000 tiny moments. The hurt was already there, slow burning and constant. And that is the kind of pain nobody ever warns you about. The agony of losing someone who is still physically right there, sitting next to you. So, we broke up, quietly. There was no dramatic climax, no final, explosive fight. It was just two people sitting across from each other in a quiet room, one of them finally realizing the other had left the relationship long before they ever said goodbye. It took me months to process it, to really understand what had happened. Cheating hurts. Betrayal stings, of course it does. But being slowly and quietly replaced while you are still putting in the effort, still fighting for the relationship, still loving them with everything you have. That hurts on a whole different level. It makes you question your own judgment, your own worth. If you're watching this, and something just feels off in your relationship, please trust that feeling. Trust your gut. Love doesn't just vanish overnight. It slips away in all the small moments we choose to ignore, and the questions we're too afraid to ask. And the easy answers we're too afraid to question. Don't ignore the silence. Thank you for listening.